Hi, welcome to WAM TV. I'm Bob Bales. This is Tom Siegel, and this month is National Crime Victims' Rights Week and also Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Tom, tell me about this group of folks that's meeting here behind us.
This is our Vine Advisory Committee, or we finally call it the VAC, and they were formed last year, and it's a group of 8 program managers from around the country who were elected by their peers, the other program managers in our 41 states, and to meet with senior management on a regular basis 3 to 4 times a year. I think we met 4 last year. We're planning on meeting, I think, 3 this year, to give us input from the field, to help us determine what are the key changes, additions, future benefits that we might want to consider for the Vine product.
Okay, that's great. With April being the Special Awareness Months, it's natural to reflect on how APRIS and Vine has contributed into easing the minds of victims. How has that happened?
Well, I think if you just look at a few of our statistics, we've grown in the last 15 years from one state impacting a few thousand or tens of thousand victims to we now do over 1.5 million calls a month. We do about 1 million emails a month, and there's over 1 million new victims register on an annual basis. So I think that we can see that we're impacting lives for victims all around the country in a very significant way.
All right, thanks, Tom. In a little bit, we're going to be speaking with each of these program managers that are part of this Vine Advisory Council.
It puts my agency in contact with victims like we've never been before, and in a different way. It's not in a written format. We're talking to them. So decisions can be questioned. We can reverse decisions that we make, and we take victim input into our decision making, whereas in the past we probably made all of our decisions in the dark and with no input and no examination of those decisions. So it has really opened up our agency in a way that, excuse me, that we've never had before.
All right. Well,
Vine has now become the go-to method for all victim advocates. They are horrified when it goes down. With Vine Protective Order, it has a capacity that's difficult to reach, in that you can't notify people immediately when a protective order has been served because there's a delay from the time it's served until it's entered into the database, and that can be anything from 3 minutes to 3 days, and so we can't use it as part of a safety plan. But for folks with protective orders, one of their biggest worries is, has it been served? Because they can't call law enforcement to enforce it until they know it's been served. And so getting that information that it has indeed been served makes them feel like they at least now have some recourse if that protective order is violated in any way.
It's really the core service of providing information about when people are held. We didn't have any automated way before. It was largely a manual process, and Vine provides one more avenue for people to know about either corrections or all of our jails as far as the status of people being held or when they're released. So it's really a peace of mind kind of thing. We found it stretches everything from people from very serious offenses, people just wanting to know about their neighbors, all ages, all across the state. So it's been very useful.
all right. Thank you.
Rachel Stone. Her son was killed in a small community. Recently, he escaped from maximum security prison. I think he hid in a truck or something. But when she got that Vine notification, the police department, she contacted them, and the police department actually moved her and her daughter into a safe location because there were threats made against both of them. So she was able to keep up on the status, and she called me immediately wanting to know what was going on. Eventually they found him, and everything turned out okay, but she knew immediately when he was escaped.
Well, Vine gives them a tremendous peace of mind in knowing where the offender is. When they're being released, they can implement their safety plan. It's just a very good public safety service.
All right. Do you have any examples of somebody that's benefited?
We had a young woman. It's hard to get people who are afraid of the offender to really come out and talk about how it's benefited them. But we had a young woman who was a domestic violence victim who went on the radio with one of our Wisconsin Public Radio reporters and talked about what it was like when she got the call that the offender was being released, that her safety plan was to go to her mother's home, that they shut all the blinds, and she stayed there and felt safer for a couple of days. But she knew she would get that call, so it gave her peace of mind and she could implement her safety plan. And I just want to say that sometimes program managers like me and Pam Brandon, that we call always when there's a problem because we really believe this is a valuable service and we put our heart and soul into it. But we want APRA staff to know how much we appreciate the work they do, even though most of the time, the only time you hear from us is when something's wrong. I just want to say, we want to say kudos for all the things that go right, and we just appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you. And on behalf of the staff, we appreciate hearing that. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. So now we've heard from our customers how Vine and VPO have impacted their state. Now we know just another reason why APRIS matters.